So speaking of enterprise AI, Michael, so recently, about 1 week ago, I think Microsoft CEO said enterprise and SaaS and software will be gone in the future because all of those will be replaced with agents. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, thank you for this question. My reaction was, wow. First of all, it's very hard to challenge the opinion of Microsoft CEO, right? I think he's one of the most brilliant CEOs in the world. And who could believe, like 20 years ago, that Microsoft would be that Microsoft that we are facing right now, right? Nevertheless, because we are deeply working in this industry, allow me to say so that I disagree entirely. And let me explain why. There are areas that are highly regulated areas. For example, imagine a back end of insurance company, or imagine a back end of Kaiser Permanente. Like example, everybody knows this company here. How the AI agents can substitute SaaS applications and all these legal compliance and requirements HIPAA brings to Kaiser Permanente. I just don't buy it. So I apologize for being like so maybe strong in my opinion, but I just don't see it would happen. I think we will get some hybrid environments where for some areas definitely AI agents will kick out all the SaaS software. For some things it would be like for better, but we will have areas, highly regulated areas where SaaS will be forever.
Yeah, I actually think this is a really interesting discussion because I have a strong opinion on that. I actually strongly agree with the Microsoft CEO because I think that SaaS is a fundamentally flawed business model. The reason is that if you look at SaaS, like software as a service, people want to buy service. People don't want to buy software. Like software as a service is basically a concept that Silicon Valley people invented. They're like, okay, you want service, so let's give you software as a service, right? If you look outside of the US and look outside of Europe, look outside of these wealthy countries, SaaS doesn't exist. Like go to India, go to China, go to Southeast Asia. People want to hire consultants. They want to hire service people. They don't want to buy software. Like SaaS doesn't sell outside of the US and Europe. And the only reason that it sells in the US is because labor is so expensive. Right now, the promise of enterprise agents is that, well, agents can do things at a much, much, much lower cost. And if that's the case, why do I need to buy software if you can just sell me some service, right? So I think that's why I think that in the long run, agents are definitely going to replace SaaS as a business model. And I think another really interesting thing is you mentioned Kaiser Permanente, right? These healthcare companies, they are the least likely to say that they want to buy software because if you've dealt with doctors, they're the most conservative people out there, and they want to get a IT person to solve their IT problems. They don't want to log into a CRM and encode stuff. They're very bad with software. The more traditional industry is, the more likely they're going to say hey, I want you to give me a whole all-in-one solution. I don't want to buy software because my people don't want to use software. I think the other thing is if you think about enterprise SaaS, think about Gong, right? Or some, sales software. If I'm a CEO, if you can just give me those clients and I don't have to record all these meetings and micro-analyze my client conversations, that's even better because I don't really need to deal with that shit. So that's my controversial opinion, kind of yeah.
So I felt people's definition of SaaS might be a little different because what I learned is some of the AI agents are sold as SaaS. AI agent is going to transform the SaaS business. It's pretty straightforward. If you look at Salesforce, in the past, as the CRM system, they are selling it as per seat. And now, if you are using AI agent for your customer support, even their own agent force, suppose that agent force is working well, then the amount of copies that one company needs to purchase need to be significantly lower than before because most of the work has been done by the AI agent. And now, that becomes quite interesting to see, right? So whether that business is going to continue to grow as a SaaS CRM model or as a AI agent SaaS in the future. So it's quite interesting.
The problem here is, because this is the area of my expertise, software pricing, that many companies price software in such a weird way that you would say, what? So there is assumption that AI agent would be priced by some tokens or something like users, but raise your hand if you know how Oracle prices Java engine. You know what Java engine is? How Oracle prices Java engine, and it started two years ago, by amount of the employees of the company. Now imagine that you are Walmart, right, and you are on, just hypothetically, you are on IBM, but there is one department at Walmart and one team, they just built something on Java. That would be multi-million bill, because the Java pricing is by employees. It's just one example of how pricing in SaaS, that's why you hate SaaS, actually. Because we don't know how those agents will be priced. Currently, when we sell our AI Studio, which is a platform for inference, everything's by tokens. Right, because we are in the beginning of this industry. When Oracle came up with the idea of database, Oracle database, there were two different pricing, by processor or by named user. Now when everything is in the cloud and SaaS, I think we live in the era of unfair pricing metrics for software. And we don't know how AI agents would be priced.
So I actually think AI agents are fundamentally going to change the SaaS pricing model. The reason is that if you look at like traditional software, including Oracle, it is the marginal cost of providing a new piece of software is basically zero, right? If I add another person onto a CRM subscription, like as a software provider, I'm not really spending any new money. But that's totally different for AI agents because AI agents have very, very, very high inference costs. If you look at the cost of running a single run in GPT-4o and O1, right? It's not zero. And this is going to fundamentally change the enterprise SaaS business model because if you are charging people per seat, you're going to lose money because there's going to be a handful of power users who are going to abuse the system and use the heck out of you, which is something that Sam Altman of OpenAI is just recently learning about. Even for the $20 subscriptions, they're losing $200 on each user. And then there's a bunch of people commenting, below his tweet saying, "Oh, I'm definitely the person who made you lose money." That's just basically an anecdote showing that in the world of AI, especially in the world of AI agents, who are much, much, much more expensive than normal LLMs, because agents have to do a lot of search, they have to use a lot of data and have a lot of different steps. That's going to cost very, very, very expensive compute, and that's why you need to price it on a per usage basis instead of a SaaS per seat model.